public premises across the state. While Priyank Kharge made his demand in a letter to the Chief Minister, which was forwarded to officials, there were sharp reactions from the BJP to such a demand. Adding fuel to the fire, Vasudha, was Chief Minister Siddaramaia's son Yatindra, who had likened the RSS to the Taliban.
Yes, Veera, there have been sharp reactions from the BJP, which dared Priyank Kharge and Congress State President State President of the BJP, Vijayendra, released a photograph of AICC President Mallikarjun Kharge attending preparations for an RSS event in Bengaluru, and this happened in 2002. Tejasvi Surya, who's an MP from Bengaluru South, declared that it's impossible to ban the RSS. All this, Veera, comes against the backdrop of a national exchange between the Congress party and the BJP over the RSS. Listen in to key voices.
RSS ನವರು ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಜಾಗಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಚೀಫ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿಗೆ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
Why are you been calling for a ban on the RSS activities? You're saying that there are the states that
I'm not calling for a ban of RSS activities. I'm merely saying that RSS activities, BITEC, should not happen in government colleges, government aided colleges, schools, archaeological sites, archaeological temples, state-owned assets. As simple as that. If they want to do, let them go. Let Mr. Vijayendra take them to their farmhouse. Let them do their whatever they want. Show me why should we allow them to have a march past with lathis in their hands? And if RSS is a registered organization, tell him to show me the where they're registered. No, tell them to show their where they're getting their funds from.
He was forced, he was pushed to commit suicide. और ये जो पोस्ट है, इंस्टा की जो पोस्ट है, मैं इस पोस्ट को आनंदू अजी की आखिरी चीख मानता हूं, और इस चीख को सुनना और समाज को सुनाना मुझे लगता है मेरा और आपका, हम सबका फर्ज है, कर्तव्य है. आप ये पर्दे के पीछे कर क्या रहे हैं, ये जब उदाहरण आनंदू अजी के मिलते हैं तब समझ में आता है कि पर्दे के पीछे दरअसल एक सड़ी हुई संगठन जिसका नाम आरएसएस. हमें बोलने का हमारा कर्तव्य, हमें चिल्ला चिल्ला के लोगों को बताने का कर्तव्य है कि ये है असलियत संघ की.
ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ದುಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಪೇಜ್ ಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಲೋಕಲ್ MLA ನ MP ನ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಂವಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗೌರವ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವಕ್ಕೆ ಅಗೌರವ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ದೇಶದ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ತಂದು ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನ ಜೈಲಿಗಟ್ಟದಂತ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಶಾಸಕರಿಗೆ, ಲೋಕಸಭಾ ಸದಸ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ, ಹಲ್ಲೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮುನಿರತ್ನ ಮೇಲೆ. ಇದೊಂದು ಖಂಡನೀಯ. ಇದು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿನ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಯನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿನ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಿರಿ, ಮೊದಲಿಂದನೂ ಅವ್ರು ಗೂಂಡಾಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಬಂದರು. ಆ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಿರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ನು 2 ವರ್ಷ ಇರೋದು. ಯಾಕೆ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಿರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ?
Sharp political exchange, but is there anything substantial that will come out of it? Joining us now, Surbhi Hodigere of the BJP and Shatabish Shivanna of the Congress. Vasudha, Shatabish, some would say that this is more a political stunt to attack the RSS as it celebrates 100 years and less a demand that's based on substantial logic. How would you respond?
First and foremost, I see absolutely no harm in the letter written by Shri Priyank Kharge to the Honorable Chief Minister. All he said is, let's suspend RSS activities in government and government-aided institutions. Now, the rational question is, what business does any political party or its affiliate or any remote organization that is remotely associated to politics have in an educational institution? Government institutions are meant to be temples of learning, not laboratories for ideological conditioning. They are meant to nurture young minds, not poison them. You can teach them critical thinking, but not communal thinking. And secondly, I must extend my congratulations to the RSS. 100 years is not a small feat. But here's the irony. Even after a century, RSS is not a registered body. It functions outside any legal framework. Yet crores of rupees are being spent on buildings, on organizing events. So the natural question that arises is, where is the money coming from?
Okay,
Who audits
let
you?
me ask this
If
question to
NGOs,
Surabhi.
one second. If NGOs, political parties, small vendors are all subjected to scrutiny, why should the RSS be above the law?
Okay, Surabhi Hodegere, 100 years of existence, why does the RSS still have to face these questions? What would your response be?
Interesting that in Karnataka itself, the Congress has two different stance. DK Shivkumar sings the RSS anthem right in the assembly, mind you, government premises, one of the highest of premises. He says, we have also gone to the Shaka, we also know what it's about, sings very proudly, and yet Karge constantly writes such things, speaks against the Sangh, so on and so forth. It's very clear over here that there's a very divided mindset within the Congress on what they feel about the Sangh. Now, but it's true, right? DK Shivkumar did sing Namaste Sada Vatsale Matrabhume in the assembly. Am I wrong to say that, or did you not watch the news? He did speak. He did sing
That
this
shows
song.
his ideological commitment, madam.
To the
That
Sangh.
shows his commitment. No, it shows that
Sangh.
we
He has a
keep
commitment
our
towards
friends.
the Sangh.
No,
Not
it keeps
DK
our friends
Shivkumar.
close and our enemies closer. That is the idea. And RSS is the enemy. And we will ensure we do everything to curb you. Don't worry. Just have some patience.
Shatavish, if somebody is your enemy, you're going to sing their song in the assembly, is it?
Now, did he sing their anthem in praise? Now, this is what?
What logic is this? What logic is this?
By WhatsApp
No,
forward.
please tell me, why would you defend DK Shivkumar singing the RSS anthem in the assembly and then make all these comments? Get your house in order. The truth of the matter.
No, I've said this
Your
before
house
also.
is not in
I've
order.
said this before.
One second.
I've said this before. If I sing
as an elected representative from Kalburgi, I would have expected Mr. Priyank Karge, who has something to say about everything, to speak about the unfortunate alleged rape of a young girl in Mysuru, who is a person who has come from Kalburgi. Please give me one tweet, one statement of Priyank Karge in the last 3 days. Has he spoken for his constituent? No. He just loves, that's the reason, there's a reason why we call him troll minister. He just loves to talk about everything that's not in his purview. He's been trolled continuously.
Question to Shatabish, but Surbi, what about the question that they have raised about registration and why they should allow ideological communal activity in schools and colleges?
No, hang on. What is this schools and colleges activities that go on and go off and so on and so forth? We have been very clear about the Parivar. The Parivar is a larger organization. There are different Seva Samsthas that are there within the organization that do have due registration. This is not some, national secret that somebody is hiding. And by the way, the same people who are in the Congress come to Nagpur, come to RSS organizational events. Get clarity on what you are trying to oppose or not. And let me tell you something, in these 100 years, the amount that the Sangh has been able to contribute, not just in terms of seva, but also in terms of national direction, you are unable to withstand that, which is why you're going after such things. Public programs happening in public parks, in the road. Why is that bothers you so much when it comes from one side and not from the other? But I come back to the question. Please ask Shatabish this question.
The fact that the RSS has
should answer why he spoke so respectfully, so revering of the RSS.
The fact that the RSS has almost 1 lakh shakhas, is there not a sense that the Congress could be alienating a large part of the society, or at least a significant part of society, because it is really fundamentally against the RSS, which is now increasingly growing and establishing its footprint across the country?
No, I congratulated them at the very beginning. If you want to carry out your activities, carry it out anywhere else, provided it is within the law, provided these private institutions give you permissions, not in government aided or government institutions, unregistered, unaccounted, yet omnipresent. What a paradox. There is a strong possibility that unlawful activities are being masked as cultural initiatives. And since they operate outside the law, their actions go unchecked. And thirdly, let me say this. There was a time when Hinduism was represented by intellectual giants like Adi Shankaracharya and Swami Vivekananda, who traveled the length and breadth of the country by debating ideas, not wielding sticks. From Upanishads to WhatsApp forwards. What a tragic downgrade. These self-proclaimed defenders of Dharma are neither learned, nor are they spiritual. They are street-level enforcers of hate.
Yeah.
And as someone who truly believes in the Hindu philosophy, I will tell you, as someone who truly believes in the
Surbi respond to it.
Ambedkar, I will tell you, true Dharma uplifts, it never divides.
Oh,
All
very,
right, Surbhi,
very
respond.
good to hear you say these words, Chatavish, because in the same time as somebody like Adi Shankaracharya, Swami Vivekananda, we've also had a great amount of people who have also practiced Kshatriya Dharma and who have needed to protect society when it came to that. It's not alien to us. It is the necessity for Kshatriya is embedded in our Dharma. Once again,
Out in a private institution.
finish. 1 second. Let me finish. please.
Why do you want
Let
to
me
spew
finish.
women?
If you have
in
so
Venom,
many,
in
you're
government-
wearing a black coat
Why in
today.
government
You have
institutions?
1 second. Let me
Why?
finish. Are you scared? Please let me have my argument. I did not interrupt you when you were giving me sermons of what dharma should be or should not be, because dharma cannot be defined in that way. It is all encompassing. Just the same way there is violence.
It's
there is
definitely
also
not the
violence.
definition
That's
of the RSS.
Please, please, please. You don't know the definition of the RSS. How do you know the definition of the RSS?
I do.
Have you
I
ever gone
do.
to Shaka like DK Shivkumar has? Have you? I don't
do.
know. If you have, great. Welcome. But that's not the point. The point here is, I reiterate this. If you have a problem with unlawful, if there is unlawful activities as you claim, clearly you're not seeing what billions of Indians are seeing, which is the seva work, which is the Yakti Nirman work. Please go to the courts. You're wearing a
Okay,
black coat.
Surabhi
Always welcome
Surabhi
to
and
that.
Mr. Shivanna, we're
However,
completely out of time. But yes, this makes for a fascinating
Intense
discussion.
debate,
Veera,
an
every
emotional
time
one.
RSS is in the
Article
picture,
19
it's a flashpoint.
allows
Yes.
freedom of this congregation, allows for freedom of expression. There is no mandatory
last
rule.
point.
I will say this
My
again.
last point.
Different
There is
organizations
more
that do
controversy.
work within the
More
parivar
leave this
controversy.
conversation
are
right here now.
That the RSS
What
activities
is
be
your
stopped in
problem
government
here?
institutions.
What
They
is
can
your
do whatever
problem
they
here?
All right,
want
we'll
in their
leave this
private
conversation
that
right
is
now,
not
Vasudha,
okay.
because
within the law. Our
Don't
children
do
deserve
another
education,
run
not
like court
indoctrination.
stories.
Okay, this is a
Each
discussion for
ideology
another day,
chakras,
but
not
the moot point of this,
someday
Veera, is
the
the fact that
nation will ask
whenever
for
there's a
answers.
discussion on the
Where does
RSS,
the
it
money
becomes a
come from?
flashpoint because
Who are you accountable?
the RSS believes that it is growing, it's part of the society, and it's increasingly getting more and more influential. And the Congress believes that this is exactly what its ideological counter looks like.
That's right. It's an ideological confrontation. But moving on to a bit of breaking news that's coming in, Vasudha, to the details and the latest from that apex court order for a CBI probe into the Karur tragedy. Some strong observations in that detailed order, Vasudha, which we can report now of the apex court. It even observes that the comments made by police officials on the probe before the media could have created droughts of impartiality. Remember, the apex court has ordered a CBI probe. The court had called it a tragedy that shook the conscience of a nation, Apart from a CBI probe, the court also sharply questioned, Vasudha, the Madras High Court single judge bench order ordering a special investigating team into the incident. A CBI probe is a setback, remember, Vasudha, for the DMK, which had launched a political offensive and narrative against the TVK, holding it responsible for the tragedy, Vasudha.
That's right, Veera. The TVK, which had moved, the Supreme Court welcomed the order. So as the BJP, the Supreme Court has also appointed a 3-member committee headed by a retired judge of the Supreme Court, Ajay Rastogi, to monitor the probe. The committee will also include 2 IPS officers who may be from Tamil Nadu cadre but not natives of the state. So will a court-monitored CBI probe change the political narrative on the tragedy in Tamil Nadu? NDTV's Nupur Dogra joins us with details from the order. Nupur, help us understand the key takeaways. The observations, Nupur, on several counts in this order seem extremely important and they raise some very serious questions.
Well, Vasudha, as you have rightly just narrated the directions of the court, but what is the meaning behind those directions is actually summarized by the court in the observation that it has made in this written order. The court has went on to flag the remarks that were made by the by the police officers after the Karur stampede in the state of Tamil Nadu. Secondly, it has also questioned the conduct of the High Court judge from the Chennai bench. The court had asked that what was the jurisdiction of the Chennai bench to hear this matter when Karur actually falls under the constituency of Madurai bench, and Madurai bench had already rejected a petition seeking CBI probe. Also, remember that SIT direction by the Chennai bench was passed in a writ petition that was of civil nature, that was just about seeking guidelines for road shows. There was no no need for ordering criminal SIT probe in a writ petition, and that's why now Supreme Court has also sought an explanation from the High Court on why that kind of order was passed by that judge. The Supreme Court has flagged impropriety on part of the Chennai judge for passing this order. So this is in fact the top court is trying to set an example here. It has said that it is in interest of justice and interest of people's trust in justice that there is an impartial probe, and that's why it has gone ahead to order a CBI probe into this entire matter.
Not just a CBI probe, Nupur, a CBI probe that's monitored by a committee appointed by the Apex Court, headed by a retired Supreme Court judge, with 2 IPS officers who may be from Tamil Nadu, Kada, but not in the state. But thanks very much, Nupur, for joining us. Remember, Vasudha, this order comes as actor Vijay is preparing to start his political rallies and visit the families of the victims in Karur. What is the political fallout? The DMK has been, remember, on the offensive against the TVK. Joining us for a quick political face-off on this order, A. Saravanan, a lawyer, advocate himself of the DMK, and Ranjana Nachiyar of the TVK. Saravanan, clearly the order of the Apex Court, some would argue, puts the DMK on a back foot. As we just pointed out, it's also questioned why police officials and the government categorically blame the TVK before findings of the investigations, not just because of the probe going to the CBI, but also because of the sharp observations this order could put the DMK on a back foot. Respond.
No. See, there is no back foot, Raghav, because the Supreme Court has merely transferred the investigation. We have seen all these kinds of investigations transferred. Earlier, there was this Lavanya's case where Mr. Annamalai was taking cudgels against the state government. He said there was a huge thing going on. CBI investigated and found what the state police has done is the right thing. Several other cases, it was transferred to SIT, it was transferred to CBI, then it was transferred to SIT, Supreme Court interfered. See, the question is this: have they given a clean sheet to Mr. Vijay? I find it really funny. I find it really farcical that they say that justice has prevailed. They have not given a clean sheet to Mr. Vijay or TVK. They have merely transferred the investigation. And now we know the dynamics of the CBI. We know who is controlling the CBI, and now the political thing will shift. And Mr. Vijay has directly gone into the control of the BJP. That is the sense we are getting. And the Supreme Court, the order of the Supreme Court, they have transferred it and they have find this fine. They have done that. They said they want to give a sense of propriety. But what we are not able to understand is, it is the duty of the officers when conspiracy theories are floated, when they are making allegations over how fake allegations.
Okay, two big allegations here from what Saravanan said. Ranjana Nachiyar, the fact that it has gone to the CBI, this allegation by the DMK, now that Vijay is completely going to be under the control of the BJP, that's clearly an allegation. How do you respond to that? And also the fact that this gives more wind to conspiracy theories and not really the truth. How would the TVK see this?
We actually see the TVK's projection is it is completely DMK's conspiracy. We again and again used to say that it's a conspiracy, and Supreme Court's order is not just a political win. It's a vindication of a principle that justice must be blind, fair, and free of influence. Today, DMK has demanded a probe which is beyond suspicion, and precisely what the Apex Court has mandated today. And we fully support the CBI taking over because we are very happy, not because we deny responsibility, because we have lost lives, 41 lives, and there must be accountability and no appearance of conflict of interest. And this is not fun part of TVK. What the sir was telling is a fun part of DMK, that they think that it is BJP is backing us. It's not
You're
true.
saying what the allegation that's been made is that given that there have been opposition allegations of agencies being misused, the case being with CBI Saravanan, you are saying could put the TVK under the mercy of the BJP. That doesn't insinuate the TVK as far as being at the mercy of the DMK in a probe that's monitored by the state government, some would argue. A. B. Remember that this probe is also going to be monitored by the apex court, a retired judge. So the facts of this case could be double-edged for anyone. Whichever way it goes could be an embarrassment for one side or the other.
See, that's what, Raghav, there is no embarrassment for us at all in this. The only reason why we were there is to ensure that the union government cannot usurp the powers of the state government just like that. Oh, we will order CBI. Something sensitive happens, we will take the CBI. We will want a CBI probe. No, we will not allow that. And we have consistently taken a stand. We have consistently, only when allegations are directly made against police officers, only in those instances, the state government itself has acceded to a CBI probe. Now, this is the situation. And look at what Mr. Vijay was saying a month back. Oh, you are asking for a CBI probe. What will happen if there is a CBI probe? It will be put in cold storage for 6 months. You have been colluding with the BJP and the RSS, and you want to put this matter for cold storage for 6 years. And now we are asking Mr. Vijay, under what authority, what audacity you have to say that
very quickly, I wanted to ask you, Saravanan, were you expecting something different?
Yes.
Because the court also said that although there could be petitioners who said that they had not really filed the petition that was sort of credited to them, the fact that the court took a stand which was different, and it said that there are other petitioners which does not really, which actually gave the go ahead for this CBI inquiry. Were you expecting, was the DMK expecting something different today?
See, that's what, the thing is this, the only thing is this, there are two aspects to this. One, the petitioners, the BJP office bearers who filed a petition for CBI inquiry in Madurai High Court. The Madurai High Court dismissed them, stating that you have no role to play in this. And it goes to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court, new petitioners come in, two petitioners come in, and they say, we are representing the victim's family. But in truth, they are not representing the victim's family, and it is on the public domain. You have put out a news. Now the Supreme Court has to examine on what basis have they transferred the investigation, on the basis of the BJP's petition. So there is a political undertone here. There is a clever ploy.
There is a political undertone, says Saravanan, but
Vijay and TVK to BJP.
There are other parts. No, there are other parts.
There are so many views
to think. The Supreme
think.
Court categorically holding,
the government
scathing observations against the Madras High Court order for a single judge bench, or about police personnel and senior officers and the government itself coming out and creating a narrative before the probe findings are through. Ranjana Nachiyar, where does this leave the TVK? Are you still going to be in a state of uncertainty, or are you going to believe that eventually this is a case that's going to dominate the political narrative and perhaps even influence the TVK's political decisions in the future in terms of alliances? Very briefly, as we close this debate.
This is so many things to be put together in a nutshell. See, this is completely a DMK's picture. They just want to put down and let down our TVK chief Vijay, and his political entry is damaging their family politics and all that. See how this government prioritizes things, like these Armstrong's murder case, when the accused Nagendran's body was taken for his final trial. The state deployed 1,300 police personnel, including 3 deputy commissioners, 3 joint commissioners, and 42 inspectors and 82 sub-inspectors, I guess. All of them, all for a criminal's funeral. But for Vijay's Karur public meeting, where lakhs and lakhs of citizens might come, there are 20-30,000 expected people have gathered. They barely, the police deployment was, they say it is 500, but it was nearly 100 to 200, we believe. So these all their narratives.
They've mentioned that you gave 10 seconds. But anyway, these are facts that are now before the court.
Raghav, 10 seconds.
That have to be raised. Go ahead, Saravanan, just 10 seconds. Quickly finish your point.
The Supreme Court has spoken about the Madras High Court. See, I think they have forgotten the fact that whenever a representation is sent to the DGP is sitting here in Chennai. So the Chennai High Court will have jurisdiction. So on that basis, the petitions were passed. And when the petitions were passed, it is the duty of the office, the Madras High Court office, to pass whether it comes here in Chennai or it comes to Madurai. So it
All
may
right,
not be
you're
appropriate.
you're making legal points. This has to be discussed before a court
this
of law.
has to
But
be also
anyway,
put out,
this
Raghav.
is a political debate which is based, which Vasudha is likely to define in many ways the run-up to 2026. Thanks very much, Saravanan, as well as Ranjana, for joining us here this evening. We'll keep a close focus, Vasudha, on that case.
That's right. We are now to the political face-off over allegations of vote chori or electoral roll manipulation coming from Jubilee Hills Assembly segment that goes for a by-poll along with Bihar polls. Now, the allegation of 43 voters registered to a single household in the constituency has sparked off some sharp political reactions, with the BRS accusing the Congress party of electoral manipulation in the state of Telangana.
That's right. The allegations have a national resonance, Vasudha, against the backdrop of the Congress allegations against the BJP. KTR's claimed gained traction after some alleged visuals surfaced showing Congress candidate Naveen Yadav distributing voter IDs even after the enforcement of the Model Code of Conduct, according to some reports. The BRS sees the battle for Jubilee Hills, Vasudha, as a prestige one. Uma Sudhir has the details.
ఒకటే ఇంట్లా ఈ రోజు కాంగ్రెస్ పార్టీ వాళ్ళు, ఎందుకంటే మీరు ఎట్లాగూ ఓట్లేయరని అర్థమైపోయింది. అలా మామూలుగానైతే ప్రజలు బాగా కోపంగా ఉన్నారు, ఓట్లేయరని అర్థమైంది. అందుకే ఒకటే ఇంట్లా 43 దొంగ ఓట్లు రాయించారు. ఒక్కొక్క ఇంట్లా 43 దొంగ ఓట్లు, మొత్తం కలిపి వేల సంఖ్యలో దొంగ ఓట్లు కూడా రాయించారు. మేము దాని మీద ఎక్సర్సైజ్ చేస్తున్నాం, ఎట్లా దాన్ని ఎదుర్కోవాలో ఎదుర్కొందాం.
There have been made some allegations that there are multiple voters at particular address, 43 or 50, some number is coming up. What is the report that you are getting from the field?
Ma'am, good morning to everybody. It is actually in Hyderabad where GHMC limits are there. The electoral registration officer and returning officer are two different persons. So here for 61 Jubilee Hills constituency, Deputy Commissioner Yusuf Gouda is the electoral registration officer. Since the news broke, he is conducting an inquiry into the field and he is there in the field to take total details. As soon as he reports the field details, I will be reporting the same to the State Election Authority. As of now, the inquiry is going on.
What does the inquiry say? What have you found on the ground? What seems to be the indication?
He is there on the ground to find out what is the exact truth of the 43 voters that are being alleged to be there in the voter list. The facts will come out once he reports the facts to me, and then I will report it to the State Election Authority. As of now, the field inquiry is going on.
So the Bharat Rashtra Samiti has accused the Congress of vote chori in the Jubilee Hills constituency, where of course the by-poll is going to be held on the 11th of November. A notification has already been issued for the election itself. What the BRS is saying is that there are about 20,000 bogus or duplicate votes there, and they say that as many as 12,000 votes were deleted and 7,000 new additions were brought in, and they're calling them illegal as well, and are saying that some people have as many as 3 voter identity cards. And the BRS working president KT Ramarao in fact went to the chief electoral officer to give a very detailed submission about what he called as irregularities, and the CEO, the election officers have also promised a full detailed inquiry into it. On the specific allegation that the BRS had raised, saying that there are specific addresses at which there seemed to be an unusually high number of voters. For instance, they had mentioned about 4 addresses there. One of them was supposed to have about 50 voters, another one 43, and other numbers as well. NDTV visited these places and found that the place where you're supposed to have 50 voters and some irregularity was being suspected is actually a 4-story structure with a penthouse as well, and therefore there could possibly have 50 voters there. But 2 of the youth who came out of the building told us that this was actually a hostel, and there were youth who were living there from other districts, and most of them had their votes outside Hyderabad in the other districts. The other place that was mentioned, address in Yusuf Gouda, that had 43 voters. The election commission has also clarified that there are about 15 separate flats there, and people may have moved from there. But what is very critical is that all these are not new additions, that in the 2023 assembly elections as well as the 2024 parliament elections as well, the numbers of voters at these addresses were exactly the same, and they had voted during both those elections, and nothing has happened post that election for a change in the electoral list there. So it does appear that the Jubilee Hills elections is going to be dominated by questions about the voter list integrity itself.
Well, election fever, Vasudha, heating up, whether it's in Bihar or in Jubilee Hills there in Hyderabad.
That's right. It's time for a short break. Peter, on the other side, all the election drama going on in the state.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
नहीं बचेगा। फ्लिपकार्ट बिग बैंग दिवाली।
वॉल्यूम कम करेंगे? आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
भाभी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी, ये आपके लिए।
मैंने कहा था ना, कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। पीमाक, the mustard specialist since 1933.
In Bihar, बहुत politics है. The year's election super final. Can Jai Viru storm the palace? Or will Bihar double engine defend? Fierce fight, electric election. Biggest team, biggest coverage. Battleground Bihar on NDTV 24/7.
Rajasthan is history, culture, and much more. And I have been reporting on all things royal for more than 25 years.
The colors, the culture, and the complexities of the Northeast is different from the rest of the country. I have been bringing the Northeast closer to the capital for over 15 years.
Madhya Pradesh is the heart of India, and I have been capturing its every beat for over 10 years, covering the corridors of power, what is said, what is left unsaid, and what it actually means for you and me. I have it all covered.
Kashmir is often called paradise on earth, a region that has been in a state of flux from conflict to India's crowning glory. I have been reporting and decoding Jammu and Kashmir for last 3 decades.
Other opposition parties. They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है। सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखेगा? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं। लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं। एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
When it comes to elections, I am a journalist, analyst, commentator, and an advisor.
My point of view is not for the faint-hearted.
Nothing escapes my eyes. Not the leaders, not their agendas, not even the real game of elections.
हम सबको खबर देते हैं, हम सबकी खबर लेते हैं, चुनावों की भी, दावों की भी। बिहार की सोच, बिहार का फैसला।
पत्रकारिता का जो पहलू दिखता नहीं वो हम दिखाते हैं।
इलेक्शंस की सारी खबरें मेरे साथ।
Watch me cover the Bihar battleground on NDTV 24/7.
अब पुराना कुछ नहीं बचेगा। फ्लिपकार्ट बिग बैंग दिवाली।
The biggest musical sensation of the Middle East, Balkis Fatih, the Yemeni Arab star.
Welcome back. As the NDA finalizes its Bihar seat sharing formula with the BJP and JDU and other allies, with BJP and JDU contesting 101 seats each, Chirag Paswan's LGP contesting around 29 seats, and smaller allies 6. Attention has now turned to when the NDA or the allies will release their first list of candidates. Just 21 days to go for Prashant Kishore's Jan Swaraj Party political party yet to announce seats, which makes it clear that the campaign is going to be really tight this time. And when it comes to Mahagathbandhan, there is more mystery and more uncertainty. In fact, a Delhi court also framed charges against RJD leaders Tejasvi Yadav, Lalu Prasad Yadav and Rabri Devi today, even as RJD leaders held meetings with allies to finalize seat sharing.
Well, everything heating up there in Patna. Vasudha, Prashant Kishore has released a second list of 65 candidates. He doesn't have alliance headaches and he can release his set of candidates, taking his total to 116, but has kept his own candidate, particularly from Tejasvi Yadav's Raghopur seat, under the wraps, whether he's going to do it or not. The RJD Congress Mahagathbandhan continues to negotiate its seat sharing under pressure to project unity and readiness as NDA and JSP move ahead decisively. But even the NDA allies have sounded some resentment, even as they vouch support for the alliance. The big question, what's causing the muddle in seat sharing, and will the NDA have the edge only because it has announced seat sharing, Vasudha?
That's right, Vida. We are joined by Charuk Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP. We have Anshula Vijit, spokesperson of the Congress party. We have Dr. Ravi Shankar, he represents the RJD. And we have Amitabh Tiwari, who's a political analyst and author. Thank you all of you for being part of this broadcast. Charuk Pragya, to you first. Yesterday, I was at the BJP office covering that very important CC meeting. In some ways, we are told that, the list is expected today. There's complete unity and there could also be a joint press conference. When is that first list expected? And is there a sense that some of the parties may not be completely happy with that 29 seats going to Chirag Paswan?
Vasudha, good evening. And good evening to everyone else on the panel as well. I think NDA's formula for this election is about balance. It is about remaining devoted to the aspirations of the people of Bihar. And this seat sharing is exactly that. We and our alliance partners, the two major ones, are contesting on 101 seats. Each Chirag Paswan's party gets 29. And as the statements coming from his party reflect, this is all about quality over quantity. We have to focus on who is the best candidate from any particular seat. And, if you do a basic check of the strike rate that the NDA has had in Bihar, Vasudha, I think we always get this calculation correct. We focus on what the people need. We do not get into bitterness and petty fights like the opposition seems to be getting in. They've been washing their dirty linen in the longest time. And if you even look back to last time, where Congress's strike rate was even less than They won 19 seats out of the 70 they contested on. In Lok Sabha, their strike rate was less than 20%. So they have consistently performed terribly. Whereas the NDA is concerned, we have stuck to our promises. We've been delivering. Development is reaching every single corner of Bihar. And I'm really
Okay, let me get in Anshul Avijit here. Anshul Avijit, even CPI-ML is saying that this seat sharing needs to be at least announced faster. Why is there so much delay? Do you think that this may also in some ways impact the momentum that your parties have?
No, where is the delay? I mean, yesterday they announced, the NDA announced a seat sharing formula, and there seems to be a lot of, disgruntled elements there. I mean, Upendra Kushwaha just recently tweeted, says कि मुझे आशियाना वहीं बनाना है जहाँ बारिश हो रही है. So all is not right over there, and everyone was saying, they are one up, as if there is a contest to be won by announcing seats earlier than others, or a couple of hours earlier than others. The real contest comes on the 6th and the 11th, right? These things take time. When there is coalition and Mahagathbandhan politics, as in the NDA, right? These things take time. There is a certain process. It has to be equitable. It has to be just. There have to be winnable seats. And it has to be highly representative. Right? So all these things have to be taken into consideration. Everyone has to be consulted, and the best candidate in that manner has to be brought out. That takes time. There is no surprise here. I know that the nomination date has already begun, but that is true for the NDA as well.
Yeah, October 17th is the last date, Anshul. So clearly there is a tight window for you to also get in. Veera, you wanted to ask Amitabh Tiwari.
No, Ravi Shankar, your ally has spoken. What's the sense from the RJD? Is the Congress pushing for too much? What can you give us more than what we know outside, that everything's hunky-dory? What's happening behind the scenes?
We treat our coalition partners as equals. There is no pressure tactics. There is no blackmailing. We treat each other as equal partners, and that is why the discussion in a democratic manner is taking place. The meetings are taking place, and very soon, very soon, the seats will be declared. Which party will get how many seats? Whereas I think in NDA the partners are not being treated equally. Chirag Paswan ji had to use sort of threatening or pressurizing language that he will contest from all his party will contest from all the seats. Manjhi ji is posting poetry, poems every day, and so they got their share, but BJP is playing as the big brother there, not as equal partners. And for the first time, BJP and JDU will contest at equal number of seats. This also shows that BJP within the NDA coalition is sort of flexing muscles, and otherwise JDU has always contested on more number of seats.
Okay, Charu Pragya is the BJP flexing muscles? But in 2024 Lok Sabha also BJP did fight one seat extra. But the fact that while Nitish Kumar remains pivotal to the NDA campaign, it's barabari now. It's even Stevens. What is your response, Charu, for that?
So, it's laughable what the opposition leaders are saying on your show today, Vasudha, because these are the same people who couldn't even conclude on a PM phase for 24 elections. With all the talks of the Mahagathbandhan, where was the Gathbandhan in Uttar Pradesh with Samajwadi Party? Where did it go in Tamil Nadu with DMK? Where did it go in West Bengal with Mamta Didi's party or with Aam Aadmi Party? Punjab? So, it's like there's a lot of chatter, there's a lot of bitterness, but when it comes to delivery, there is nothing. So for them, posturing is far more important than performance. And I've been focusing on performance. That's what I said. This seat sharing formula of the Bharatiya Janata Party focuses only and only on performance, so that we bring to the people of Bihar what they truly deserve, what they did not have during the Jungle Raj of the Lalu Raj. And that left such a bad taste in the mouths of every single voter in Bihar. They're still suffering today. But today, when you go to Bihar, when you go to the Marine Drive of Bihar, when you're driving down those brick roads which are fully constructed, people are talking about the delivery. Where it matters, that is where NDA has performed really well.
Let me get Amitabh Tiwari in. Amitabh, you've heard all the politicians speak. Who do you think has the edge at this moment in terms of seat sharing? Who's got the task better sorted out in front of them?
No, essentially, sheet sharing has, you can say, three stages. One is the overall sharing of the seats among the allies, which NDA has done. The second is the announcement of candidates and which party will be contesting which seat, which both have not done yet. And the third is the management of rebels, because that also is going to play a key role in this election. And I think both the parties or both the alliances, NDA and Mahagathbandhan, realize this. And that's why we are sitting so close to the last date of nominations, which is 17th. And yet we do not have the names of the candidates from the major parties. It's largely because both fear that there could be rebellion, and you have Jan Suraj or other parties where rebel candidates could switch to and they could play a key role in the electoral results.
Right. Anshul, Abhijit,
how worried are you about a rebellion in the alliance?
Are you asking me?
Yes, Anshul.
No. You look, for one seat, particularly if they're winnable seats, and particularly if the Mahagathbandhan is set out to win, there'll be a number of candidates. I mean, it shows the strength of the Mahagathbandhan and the popularity of it. There are going to be so many contenders. In one seat in Chenari, for instance, in Sasaram, there are 154 contenders for that seat. It's not possible to give it to 154 people. There's only going to be one. There will be people who will be disappointed naturally, but ultimately it is going to be the most winnable, the most recognizable face, the most representative face that will clearly emerge. That is a problem that has happened since the time of parliamentary elections. It's not a new problem, if you call it such, to contend with. That's not going to be the issue. The issue is the resolution as fast as we can. Okay. We know we're pushing the date. It's never, it's not something that we asked for, but it does happen. It has to be a logical process in which the right candidate has to come out at the right time. You can't hurry that process.
Point that Abhijit has made, but Dr. Ravi Shankar, does it really bother the RJD that the Congress party has not really declared Tejasvi as a CM face? And I completely understand that point, because they probably are looking at, getting other communities as well, including the EBCs and Dalits. But the fact that Tejasvi himself had to go around again and again, claiming that he's the CM face, do you think that the Congress party could have supported you more in that?
No, I think, it was evident since the very beginning. We are the largest party with highest vote share, and if Tejasvi ji was the convener of the Mahagathbandhan, so it was very much evident that he will be the CM face. Now it was declared by the Mahagathbandhan. So I think it's not a issue. I mean, at what time you declare the name officially, because everybody knows.
It doesn't really matter what you say officially. What is perceived is important. That's an important point, but we'll have to wait and see if more fissures, Veera, emerge after the seat sharing arrangements come out. Thank you so much, all of you, for being part of this broadcast. Veera, with three clear fronts emerging now, a disciplined NDA, what seems like a struggling Mahagathbandhan, but of course there's some clarity that is expected tomorrow, and a stealth-styled reformist Jan Suraj, which has already released two lists of seats. We'll have to wait and see whether Bihar's voters are ready for a new political language beyond what we see as national alliances.
Well, this is the story in every election. When there is an alliance, there is seat-sharing troubles. But that's all we have time for on the Southern View this evening. Vasudha, news and updates continue right here on NDTV.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro, the true flagship killer.
फ्लिपकार्ट बिग बैंग दिवाली।
वॉल्यूम कम करेंगे? आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
मामी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी, ये आपके लिए।
मैंने कहा था कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में। बीमाक द मस्टर्ड स्पेशलिस्ट सिंस 1933।
सरसों से सरसों।
Other opposition parties.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
The biggest musical sensation of the Middle East, Balkis Fatih, the Yemeni Arab star, redefining the rhythms of Arabia. This October, NDTV World Summit is her stage. Catch Balkis Fatih live at the NDTV World Summit. Unmissable, unmatched, unforgettable. October 17th and 18th, exclusive on the NDTV network.
ब्रेकिंग न्यूज का जमाना है, सबको तिल का ताड़ और राई का पहाड़ बनाना है। ऐसे में जनता के जूते के अंदर फंसा कंकड़ कौन देखे? बड़े बड़े मुद्दों के शोर में जमीन से जुड़े मुद्दे अक्सर खो जाते हैं, लेकिन देश तरक्की तब करता है जब जनता के माथे की शिकन हमारी हेडलाइंस बनती है। मैं सैयद सुहेल भारत को जीता हूं, भारत की बात बताता हूं, एनडीटीवी इंडिया पर।
When it comes to elections, I am a journalist, analyst, commentator, and an advisor.
My point of view is not for the faint-hearted.
Nothing escapes my eyes. Not the leaders, not their agendas, not even the real game of elections.
हम सबको खबर देते हैं, हम सबकी खबर लेते हैं, चुनावों की भी, दावों की भी। बिहार की सोच, बिहार का फैसला।
पत्रकारिता का जो पहलू दिखता नहीं, वो हम दिखाते हैं।
इलेक्शंस की सारी खबरें मेरे साथ।
Watch me cover the Bihar battleground on NDTV 24/7.
A global leader, defining India's moment in history, a voice shaping the future of a changing world.
हम दुनिया को भी बेहतर AI सॉल्यूशंस देने में जुटे हैं।
Catch Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the NDTV World Summit 2025, 17th and 18th October on the NDTV network, bringing the world to India and India to the world.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
A story of change, a path to renewal, a leader reimagining her nation's future.
This will be my first official visit to India as the Prime Minister of